Tucker Carlson moving show to Twitter. How's it going, guys? Welcome to One Woke Thoughts. And today we're going to be talking about Tucker Carlson's new network. I wonder what his new network could be. Let's look right here. On trending, we see Tucker and Elon. Yes, that's right, guys. Tucker Carlson is officially moving his show to Twitter. So since Tucker Carlson is coming to Twitter, he must have signed some sort of deal with Elon Musk, correct? Because a individual of Tucker Carlson's caliber had to have had some sort of contract or some sort of big money deal with the next network he has decided to put his show on. But according to Elon Musk, that is not the case. Now let's check out this tweet by Elon Musk regarding this situation. And Elon Musk says, on this platform, unlike the one-way street of broadcast, people are able to interact, critique, and refute whatever is said. And, of course, anything misleading will get community notes. I also want to be clear that we have not signed any deal of any kind whatsoever. Tucker is subject to the same rules and rewards of all content creators. Rewards means subscriptions and advertising revenue share coming soon, which is a function of how many people subscribe and the advertising views associated with the content. I hope that many others, particularly from the left, also choose to be content creators on this platform. Now, before we go any further, let's check out the video that Tucker Carlson posted to Twitter as an announcement. Watch.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess, it's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
Well, there you have it, guys. From Tucker Carlson himself. Tucker Carlson is bringing a version of his show to Twitter. But let's kind of get into this video and let's kind of break down what Tucker Carlson was talking about. Well, first, Tucker talks about the dishonesty of the mainstream media and how instead of outright lying, They twist the truth into something that is a lie at the basic level, a stealthy and insidious one. He says that the things that they say are technically the truth. He says if a lawyer looks at it, they will technically say, yeah, that is true. The lawyer will give his stamp of approval. But at the basic level, they are lies. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, what he means is that facts are withheld on purpose. They are purposely withheld. And by doing so, this withholds proportion and perspective. Now, this is something that we call context. And when the media manipulates context, they can turn something that might be technically true on its face into a lie meant to specifically manipulate you, the audience. Now, the interesting thing here is that Tucker Carlson claims that the news media is doing this in every story that matters. Now, this is something that we've all had in the back of our minds for some time now, but Tucker Carlson lived in the system. He worked in the system. So this is absolute validation for those sentiments. Now, secondly, he claims that sometimes individuals in the news business attempt to tell the truth. But he says there are limits, and if you test those limits too often, you will be fired for it. And he says this is a guarantee. Now, when he says this, I think it's very interesting because I feel like Tucker Carlson is telling us directly why he got fired. It was not for some racist text or some leaked video. It was because Tucker Carlson tested those limits too often and was considered a liability. Now, thirdly, Tucker Carlson says that there are not many platforms left that allow free speech. And he says the last big one and the only one remaining in the world is Twitter. And because of this, Tucker Carlson says he will be bringing a new version of his show to Twitter. But there you have it, guys. What do you think of Tucker Carlson coming to Twitter? Are you going to watch his show? Are you excited? Or do you think he should have made a different decision? Tell me what you think and what your opinion is. And please leave a comment down below. And if you could also please like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.